Welcome to Bold Conscious Connections. My name is Raju Panjwani and I'm a certified leadership coach.
And I'm Triccia Ramos, a certified high performance coach. Together, we help business leaders redefine success on their terms to create more space and energy so that they live impactful lives.
Everyone wants to be seen, heard, and understood. So at a deeper level, we know that the collective consciousness is important to raise in this world, and leaders who are influencers can make that difference. We, in our coaching programs, teach people how to focus on the interconnectedness, heart-centeredness, and growth from within. And this is what this podcast will be about.
So stay tuned and subscribe to wherever you listen to podcasts.
Talk to you very soon. So excited to talk about 2020 and what it is that led to what we've been doing. So it was just funny that literally an hour ago I was looking at my phone when it popped up an old video of mine from 2019. And it was like, oh, I'm talking about the end of the year 2019 and what will 2020 look like? And, Vision 2020. And I was like, oh, it's going to be a great year. And I'm going to do my plans and look at my plans and how we're going to launch this business that I was working on. And I had just barely met you.
Yeah. Last year, this time, I was busy putting together a live event that I was going to be hosting in January, preparing for a retreat that I was going to be hosting in San Diego for my clients in February. So I had mapped out my entire 2020 from a business standpoint, but also from an overall life standpoint. I knew exactly what I was going to do when for 2020 in November 2019 was
How
when
did
I
that
did
go?
it.
And how did that go? How did that go for you? Oh,
Wow.
God.
I mean, who would have anticipated the kind of year that we had, right?
I know. And maybe we touch on how it went and what happened, and all in all, it's been a great year for us.
Fantastic year.
But nothing of the kind that certainly I expected in its form. Maybe in its essence that I was going to launch a coaching business. So yeah, that happened, but totally in a different way.
For sure. I knew that I set the intention for 2020 to be living my best life and doing my life's work. And so the essence, yes, way surpassed, met and surpassed what I had envisioned. The form, definitely not what I had in mind.
So let's tell the folks a little bit about how we came together. So I think we met last year about just
September
2019, and met a couple of times, and then I think this January, I think it was when actually we.
Well, it began because we were co-working together.
Right, you were helping me with some videos and commenting and helping, and I don't know what I was doing.
You were helping me with videos.
And then while you were planning your trip to these retreats in the Costa Rica and masterminds and so on, we met at a mastermind in September last year. Yeah. So as you were going off to the mastermind, I was going off to another mastermind, a 5-day intensive in Florida, before which you and I had gone to a 2-day seminar. And then in between, I think I woke up one morning and I said, hey, do you want to do something in India? Because I just had this download from somewhere, and I woke up, and I think somewhere deep down I was already thinking about something, because, I've had an affinity to India. I'm from India, of course, but I've had a few businesses in India. And I just still felt, perhaps because I was a little insecure on launching this business on my own. I mean, I don't know all the deep reasons, but all it was at that moment that I'm going to go tonight I'm taking this flight out to Florida. Maybe I should call her and say, hey, do you want to work together and come with me to India? Without having anything else planned in my head.
I remember that, and I believe I just said, yeah.
Like not an iota of a hesitation. So I was like, now I was really scared because you said yes. And I go, what was I thinking? And what am I doing in India? I have no clue. And so I guess I sort of scrambled to go back to my plan that I wrote in November, and which included nothing on India, to be honest. But it was a broad outline, and I said, oh, well. And then you shared your vision plan with me, and I go, oh, well, she's very much further along. And what am I going to do? I mean, it was a vision, right? It was pretty good. So I figured, well, there's similar things here, but I don't know. So I came back from my 5-day thing, and then you came back, and we started.
It was like ships passing in the night, because you came back from a mastermind, and I left to go to a mastermind,
Right.
and I think we had about 10 days
I think I counted 6 or 7 days in between.
in between, because we had a lot of travel in
Correct.
February.
Right. So I was going to be in San Diego or
Yeah.
whatever. So it was like, oh, well, let's pedal to the metal and figure out what it is I was thinking. And you asked me, what were you thinking? Like, I don't know. I'm just figuring it out now. But I have a lot of incredible relationships in India. I figured, hey, what are friends for? Maybe they can help me do this thing. And then what we came out with, that we would do 3 2-day masterminds physically live in these locations.
In 3 different cities. And I had never been to India.
Right.
I had, I ate Indian food here, restaurants. I've had friends, that are from India, that are Indian Americans, but I really never would have thought a year ago this time that I was
Right.
going to be going to India.
Well, so we put together the plan. We reached out to a lot of people, and we started to have good traction, I would say, for the people who first time coming together. We had affiliates, we had clients sign up, et cetera, et cetera. But that was March 9th when we arrived, and
The rest is history.
The rest is history. So we were basically asked to take our bags and go lock ourselves in our hotel.
Yes.
So
Quarantine for
yeah, for a long-
21 days, right? It was like 3 weeks.
But
that
we were there for
locked
20.
down.
Yeah, locked down for about 3 weeks. The first week before that, or 8 days, seemed like how could that even be true? Because we traveled quite a bit.
Oh yeah, I got to see the Taj Mahal. I never would have thought that
Yeah.
that would happen. So
That was not part of the plan.
amazing. Well, I loved it.
So I think there were 2 days of free.
That was it.
And then the rest of the time we were working on our venues and programs. And anyway, so long story short, it was a time to pivot, because we were pretty clear about our what and our why. And we came together to really talk about that, to make sure that we're still, are we going to run away? What are we going to do as soon as we could get out? But what are we doing? And then we really decided that we're here to serve.
Yeah, I think that was so strong in our hearts. We were very clear that we wanted to make a difference, and we wanted to be able to connect with business owners and entrepreneurs, and really share not just the information and the experience and the wisdom that we had to share, but also I think that the desire to truly make a difference was so deep that when we were being presented options to leave before the lockdown, and we didn't know there was going to be a lockdown, but I want to say probably around that March 13, 14, 15 time,
We didn't escape.
we didn't just run away, because we did feel that we came here to do something. Let's do it.
Yeah. So we decided to continue the program. It wasn't live, of course, or physical. That we would just do live, calls with some of our community and subscribers, and that's how we did like 7 sessions in 10 days
Via Zoom.
and it was like, wow, this is pretty good. And we were already seeing the building of a community.
Yes, it was so fulfilling to be able to come back to New York in April. I think it was April 5th when we landed, and we had a membership. We had a community, and just a few weeks after that, we hosted our first call, 90-minute call with that community. And so that was April, and we did the same thing in May. And I think by the time we got to May, then it was like, all right, let's do something. And that's when we began to host webinars to be able to then create our Bold Conscious Leadership group coaching program. That's a 12-week program for business owners and entrepreneurs.
Right. And then for those who graduated that program, we then have them as part of our Bold Conscious Business Mastery program. And that's a 6-month program. So that's amazing that we were able to do that. We already have our Bold Conscious Leaders, the second group going on right now. And then the monthly calls that we began are still continuing. So naturally, because our community is growing, and I think it's been such a privilege to work with business leaders. Oh, and by the way, with India, though, just to make a point that, India is a land known as a land of entrepreneurs. But I think what the technology now is allowing people to do is to really tap into global, practices and best practices and how businesses can actually expand their horizons rather than just being in the family business. So I think we feel maybe, as we grow this, that there is clearly going to be an increasing component of, worldwide global leaders joining our groups, and we just look forward to that.
Yeah, I'm really proud of the communities that we've created, because there's been a few now.
Right.
And, people in San Diego, our clients in San Diego, clients in Dubai, clients all up and down the East Coast.
And the age, we never
Arizona,
thought.
New Mexico.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the age range.
It's so, you would never have expected that these are...
I think 24 all the way to 79.
24 to 79. Can you believe that?
In the same call, talking about the same topics, same core conflicts.
Yeah, it's been amazing.
It's been an absolutely powerful learning experience. Obviously the clients are learning, but I know I've learned a ton.
Yes, I've certainly learned a ton about myself, as you have too.
What have you learned about yourself? What's the biggest lesson you learned about yourself this year?
I think that the biggest thing is letting go of crazy beliefs. It's like, how could I have thought that for 60 years of something being true? That you're not good enough, or you're not going to be able to step into this. This is not your business. This is not what you're good at. I mean, all these voices that are from the past. And really, where is my voice, right? So, and the practices, which I had started probably 3.5 years ago or so, to continue that. And you're a master at, the spiritual practices. And I mean, I've been on this journey for a while too. And I think it's just certain practices that at least you've shared, and it's been good to put to use and discover more things about letting go and just being, God, I can't say I'm fearless, but I'm telling you that, that when you step in to the arena where you don't know, now it gives me joy. Like, how is this going to work? I have no clue, but that's the fun, right? That's the fun.
It reminds me of one of the calls we did, and it's called Feeling Free, in a challenge that we did, Feeling Free in a Restricted World.
Yeah, a couple of months ago, yeah.
Yeah, and you're really speaking about that. You're speaking to the freedom that we get to experience when we finally release and put down those mindsets, those mental shackles, that can really keep somebody contained or down, or keep somebody really playing small and not really fully actualizing in their lives. I mean, it's been a huge journey of growth for me as well. And, you said master before. I would hardly say that. I mean, this journey of spirituality is it's never ending, right? So I am really happy about the time I got to dedicate this year, the space I was able to give myself this year to be able to go deeper into my practices with the intention that the deeper I go, the more depth, of a container I can then hold for our clients when we're holding space for them. So it's been really truly rewarding on a personal and professional level, both, and on a spiritual level.
Well, of course. So, we all know that there is more to everything we do, not the physical, but the fact that you start touching edges of potentially what's out there. And more you feel the intuition that we all have is the only way. It's the only way. And, I love some of the sayings of one of our mentors who always says, the only way out is in. So that rings true. It's like, and there's so many such things that you just say, okay, well, this is true. This is true based on experience, but this is also true based on application, based on not just seeing how it works, but when you put it into, going back to the uncertainty part, putting into practice that, are you afraid of jumping? Yes, I am. But you really want to go to the other side of that precipice or the abyss. Yeah, I see what I see on the other side. It's something that attracts me. Whatever it be for you, well, the jump is worth it.
Yeah, and to me, intuition is exactly what I tapped into when you asked me, do you want to go to India? I just had this hunch that, yeah. And the words came out of my mouth probably as fast as the hunch came. And I think, that's a wish that I have for myself, to be able to be in a space where I can access that all the time. And also it's a wish I have for everybody to be able to quiet the noise around them so that they can lean into that inner guiding system that we all have within us, that intuition, that sixth sense, to then grab those moments, grab those opportunities. Because I just really can't even imagine what this year would have been like if I would have said no when you asked me that question. I can't even imagine all these clients whose lives
now we've touched,
have intersected with ours and have been in our programs. Can you imagine? I can't even imagine. So to me, it's so humbling. It's such a humbling experience, because you dared to ask, and I dared to say, yeah.
And then what? And then we even had the little warning not to go.
Oh, from everybody.
On the morning of the flight.
Yeah.
And I think I said kind of the same thing that you said. Hey, if the flight's going, we're going.
We're going.
I guess it's open.
Yeah.
And not that we fully knew what could have happened, but what actually happened was completely... there was no way to expect these sorts of things. So
I love that you brought that up, because I remember having a conversation with you about it at the airport, is that if we didn't go, we knew exactly what was going to happen. We knew if we didn't go, we knew what to expect here. And that's the piece about tapping into the unknown and embracing uncertainty, is we decided to go because we didn't know what to expect. And we just knew, do we want to go with possibilities, or do we want to stick with the known? And, as much as I think human beings really, change drives people nuts. All these changes really makes us, it's so uncomfortable. We also crave change. There's, that's why we love surprises, and we love,
the variety and the spice of life.
The variety and the spice of life. Exactly. And I think that's what we knew. We wanted to make a difference, and it's like seeing life through the eyes of adventure is what has made this whole year challenging and fun.
Yeah, so I was going to say, it has not been without its challenges.
No.
Core conflicts popping up, a lot of hows that always trip us up. But the how, I think we worried less about. And the moment you go back to your base, which is the what and the why, like what's important, why are we doing this, what are you trying to do, and if you're really trying to help others, and when you look at these conversations we've had, even for people who did not come to our programs, you could just see the shift and the changes that we're going to make, and they will continue to make
as a result of the conversations.
Right.
Yeah.
Because and then of course our clients are already in the programs, and just look at the crazy amazing things they're doing. Like you would never expect that when we first started to enroll them in June of this year, that by December, like some of those people's lives are completely different already.
Totally different. And they might have joined the program thinking it was for their business, not anticipating that it was also going to positively impact their relationships, not just with their partners, but with their parents, right? Or their children. I mean, it's incredible. And even just an increased awareness in their health.
Yep.
And an increased awareness and appreciation for nature, and just gratitude for things seen and unseen.
I mean, many of them talk about their love for nature, and then you start digging in. It's like nobody seems to have had the time to do that. But now, recognition that is one of the essences of life, that and by the way, you always say that. We end up teaching the things we want to learn the most about. So in that sense, for me, this has been a revelation. Like, I'll always love to teach. Everybody who knows me, and if they do know me, it's always been, I always love to teach. And, maybe they think I'm lecturing. I don't know. But teach, yes. Always share. And this coaching has a different element to it. So that's been really amazing and exciting for me.
Well, you and I have spent years as trainers by trade, right? Like we've created
in our leadership roles,
training curriculums. Yes, we love that, right?
Yeah.
The teaching, the training piece of it. And you're right, the coaching piece, that coaching conversation is a co-creative conversation. That is really creating space, holding space to be able to facilitate learning for the clients through their own discovery.
Correct.
So as a coach, it's been really fun to be on this journey with you, where we get to be vessels, we get to ask questions, and we get to dig deeper and challenge for greater learning.
And we all learn collectively and together, and we grow from it, and our clients grow from it. So I think it's just super exciting. And so I can't even imagine what 2021 will look like, because we just put the what and the desire and the vision and the plan out there. But I think the important point is the essence of what we're trying to do versus the actual form. We don't know what it's going to take. So
yeah, focus on creating that vision, tap into that, and it's going to be based on your desires. You're going to have to tap into your heart. If you're listening to this, you're going to have to truly tap into your deepest desires and let your heart lead the way. And the how, that's when you tap into your brain. That's when you can say, hey, brain, help me figure this out. Right. But the brain shouldn't lead the heart. The heart should lead the brain.
That's such an important point. I mean, that following that intuition, as you were saying, and stepping into the unknown, that only comes from the heart, right? Because if you feel there is something you haven't done and you've been meaning to do it, man, when are you going to do it? It's this moment, right?
We only have this moment.
So back to that little video that popped up, which was like a minute long. I'm like, oh, what was I saying? It's just that I had no clue what 2020 was going to look like. But, here we are. We stepped into it. And it's really it's really just about embracing darkness, because that's what that is all about. And most of us get uncomfortable because of the discomfort that you have to go through to get to the other side. And, fortunately or unfortunately, that's the only way to grow.
Yes. And, you only see stars in the dark.
Yes.
And I love the idea that if you sit in the dark long enough, you eventually are able to see because your eyes adjust, and then you can move through it. Then you still you're still safe and you're still able to move through it. But the awareness that you have to be able to navigate it, it's heightened. You can't be distracted navigating in the dark. You actually have to focus.
That's right.
Right? Versus when all is sunshiny and bright, you can be doing something, but then your mind is somewhere else, and maybe the presence is not really there. So there's a lot to be gained from, sitting in that uncomfortable zone, and realizing that, man, where's that next level of growth going to come from? It's probably not going to come from things I've done before or anything that I already know. It's probably going to require me to take a leap of faith in some way. And I'm really grateful that, it's been a fruitful year, on every level because thank you for asking.
Well, thank you. And again, we can't even imagine. I mean, we don't know what would have liked if you said no, or
if you never asked,
or I never asked, or if we had not successful. We actually did the masterminds in India. What that would have led to. I mean, these are things you can't even worry about, because if you go back to your life, if you're listening to this, all the things that have happened to you probably took a different form than what you were thinking will happen, and that's just the way life is. But if your desire is strong and you're coming from a different place than your brain, then you're going to feel you're taking risks. But what is life without that? Because it's you want it. If you really want it badly, then you've already done it. You've already gone to do something. Like if you went to get a job, you had to go through a 4-year, perhaps at least a minimum degree. You were going through the grind because you felt there was a certainty on the other side, which is not the case at all. So it's no different than that to say, okay, well, we're going to do this and we'll figure out the how.
Oh, yes. It's truly life-changing. And with the backdrop of 2020 and the pandemic, moving through that anyway and doing what we did anyway and setting out to serve our clients in the way that we did anyway. That's where I think, a couple of years ago, I remember feeling, I wish I was more bold. I wish I had more courage. And today I can actually say, yeah, this is a pretty bold year. I'm pretty proud of myself at this moment. I'm grateful.
Well, me too. I'm really... there's still many areas for me to be bold, but it's okay. If I don't have those, then what's this journey about anyway?
Always what is it saying? New level, new devil. Always a next level of growth, and that's why we do what we do. Yep,
exactly. Very well. So this has been awesome to work through, and we're not going to even say what does 21 look like. We have our ideas.
We're ready. We're ready.
We're ready to take on.
We're ready to not know and embrace it anyway.
Correct. And yes, we have our plans, but we'll see what happens.
Yes, you should always have plans.
Yep. Always have plans. Yes, stay steady is what we say.
Yes.
And listen to your silence. Right?
That's where the magic is.
That's where the magic is.
Okay. So,
yeah, where do they find? So we want to have you subscribe to this podcast and download, and
you can also find this on YouTube, Live Masterminds channel, and you can also check us out on livemasterminds.com.
Super, and so share this with people that you feel would benefit from this, and if it resonates with you, with your friends, your family, as the case may be. And we look forward to seeing you on the next episode.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode, and if so, make sure to subscribe, download, and share it with your sphere of influence.
We bring a variety of topics to you, and it's like a masterclass for those topics, and it's all free.
So take a screenshot, Share it on your social media and add the hashtag #BoldConsciousConnections so that we can find you, see you, maybe say hello.
And if you want to deep dive into some of the topics that we bring to you, find us at www.livemasterminds.com and get to know us.
Take care.